I'm on. Hello, everyone. It's Numerologist Glynis McCants. I have to tell you, if you don't know the personal month cycle you're in, you need to find out because I am in a personal month of 5, and oh my gosh, I cannot emphasize how true it's been for me. Now, mind you, we could say the shadow side of 5, right? Unexpected drama, some chaos, but my goodness, my mother fell at the end of January and we had to get hip replacement surgery, like the ball of the hip. And I went there every night because the woman gave birth to 11 children because she doesn't like to be alone. So I was there every night. And that's 20 times. And finally, she's out of there and she's doing great. And I'm thrilled. However, it's been dramatic. So, how do you do it? Write this down. Pay attention. It's not complicated. Take your month and day, add it together and reduce it to one digit. Okay, let's say you're born February 5th. 2 plus 5 is 7. Add that to the world number to find out the personal year cycle you're in first. You got to do personal year to understand your personal month. So 2026 breaks down to 1. So again, keep it simple. You just add your month and day and you add that number 1. So someone born 2-5 has a 7 plus 1, which is 8. So someone in that cycle of 8, which we're going to talk about in a moment, should pay attention to their health. You know, whatever's going on with you, your back hurts, your shoulders are tight, something's just not right, get it checked. Just do it as for precautionary reasons, okay? You don't want that to blow up into something bad. In my case, I'm in a personal year of 3. Let me confirm. And we're in the month of February, which is 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. Well, not only has this month been crazy, but one of the things that happened just a few days ago, I went to dinner with my husband. We had a great night. And then about 5 in the morning, I woke up feeling yucky. And by 7, I went to go to the restroom and I threw my brains up. So technically, I was food poisoned and it was tuna. I believe now it was tuna from this restaurant that we go to, or a place I go to and I've always enjoyed, but that's what happened. And of course, my brain's going to say, well, why would something like that happen? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in a personal month of 5. So you do want to pay attention. In a way, it's comforting to say to yourself, oh, okay, what's going on with me really? What is this all about? And coming up with an answer that makes sense. Okay. Right. And so now I want you all to do it. Some gal said, she says, I'm having a total hip replacement on March 16th. I'm thrilled. She just said it's an extra sunny day. I'm thrilled. And I'll tell you why. I did pick the perfect date for my mom's surgery because she fell January 24th, 2025. I said, we're not doing that surgery till January 28th. Excuse me, 2026. It was not, right? 2026. Why? Because the month and day reduced 1 digit is a 2. The actual day reduced 1 digit is a 1. And that full date reduced to 1 digit was a 3. And my mother is a 2 life path. And 1, 2, 3, first of all, if you follow me, you know that I think it's magical because it is. You know, 1 is an ambition, 2 is love, 3 is communication, like clear communication. So that's the day it was done. But if this gal's telling me March 16th, is extra sunny, I'm so happy for you. And then you just have to get your mind right. Here's some great advice for you. I'm going to say it right now, but you can also order it. I have an audio of an affirmation I do, and I had my mother do it nonstop. The words are simple. I walk, bend, and flex with ease. I walk, bend, and flex with ease. I walk, bend, and flex with ease. Because I went through some traumatic stuff 4 years ago. Luckily, I didn't have to have surgery, but boy, I was hobbling. And my husband was like, you should get surgery. I'm like, no. I knew I was internalizing a lot of things that were upsetting me. And so I didn't get the surgery, but I did end up doing that affirmation. I got a recumbent bike, and 15 minutes a day, I walk, bend, and flex with ease. So if you have knee pain, could be lower back pain and foot pain, anything that's preventing you from walking, that is your affirmation. And again, if you want to order the one where I do a full 15 minutes, reach out to Vanessa at my website, numberslady.com. I love that I didn't even check the banner. See? Hey guys, see how the banner's weird? It's like perfect. Isn't that perfect for what I'm talking about? Because it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Hold on. So I can go like this. Now it's gone. What else can I do? I know there must be something that just says my, let's see. What's this? Where to watch this video later. Oh, I've never seen that before. Where to watch this video again later. And then it says, Glynis has your number. That's good. I like that. But yeah, so do you see what I mean about the example of saying you make your life work, you try to get it all done, and then just stupid things happen? I would say in a personal month of 5, that can happen. Now, if the 5 happens to be right up your alley, then you should be on an adventure, right? Go on a trip, do something fun, but don't count on others. And boy, can you be misunderstood in that month. So let's just talk about everyone's cycle, okay, and what cycle they may be in. All right. Yeah, it's talking about everybody in this room. Let's see. It's so funny when you're out of the country and you do your month and day the opposite that we do. Maybe it's because when I was a little kid, I was dyslexic, but my first thought is, someone's talking backwards. But of course you're not. Okay, so this gal says, I'll pull her up real quick before I tell you more. Hi, Glynis. I am the 2nd of February. So that is a 4. She's in a personal year of 5. And then, yeah. And she says, I don't feel it's been a good month for me. Hopefully it'll improve. Well, again, if she's got that 4 added to the 1, she's in a personal year of 5. And then what is it to her life path? 5, 4, 9. Yeah. Technically, Loretta, it can still get better. You can be in a cycle of 5. It's not toxic to your life path. But it does mean things are going to be thrown at you and you got to roll with it, surrender to it. And that's not easy, but that's definitely what you're going to have to do. And now, on terms of what month you're in a month of 6. So when you're in a month of 6, you want things to go a certain way, right? Not true. I take it back because here's the deal. Month and days are 4, plus 1 is 5. Add the number 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 means your faith may be tested. Like you might be feeling tested by the people in your life. And that's also frustrating for you. So keep that in mind. What would I do? I would focus on the spirituality, right? I'd work on my faith. I'd be like, I'm going to read books that make me happy. I'm going to take a time out. I'm going to do things that are simple. I'm not going to go out there and deal with too much energy because it will frustrate me. And if you play it that way, you're going to be much happier. Okay. But that's how you do it. That's why you want to know. What cycle am I in? What personal month? Okay, what else? Medical events. Let's show this one. This gal, Sharon, she's saying many medical events in my personal year of 5 last year, and now in personal year of 6, it continues. I just had knee surgery. When will it end? Okay, so she is 5/9, 1963. 9. So that puts her in a personal year, 6 personal year of 6, right? Because 5 plus 1 is 6. And then her life path is 6. You know what I would tell you, Sharon? It's going to get better. It is, because technically last year would have felt out of control no matter what. And the health issues tells me you're internalizing. And I know you know that. On my website, I do have that Healing Your Body through the Power of Affirmations. I always recommend it because what it means is you try to make things better. You know, that's a big part of who you are. You don't want everything to be chaotic and crazy. So when it gets like that, you get upset. But the next thing you know, you're keeping it inside and it attacks your physical body. This year, you have the power to stop all that. Like if you start affirming and talking to your body saying, yeah, I don't need to suffer. Like the knee, you know, Louise would say from You Can Heal Your Life, not feeling good about something, like you feel strongly in opposition maybe to someone else, and it suddenly attacks the knee. But if you start looking at your body that way, you're going to feel much better. That is the promise I can make you. Okay, let me try to get this mic even closer to me. So this is a different way that we're doing audio, and I'm hoping it captures my real voice, because I know when I do like Zoom and stuff, there's this sound that interferes with my real sound. So we'll find out. What else? Okay, so thank you for that, Sharon. And yes, I promise you, this year is nothing like last year for you. Residue. That's what I want to say. When we go into a new year, we have residue from the year before. But as we move into it, like first quarter, second quarter, it just gets better. And you start to feel the power of the year that you're in. Okay, let's continue. Well, let's talk about what I promised. I wanted to talk about what we're going through when it just comes to this energy of Friday the 13th. Some people are afraid of it. Some people are concerned it's bad. What I would tell you is it changes. Right? The first energy for Friday the 13th, it depends on what month it is, right? What year it is. It all breaks down to different energy. So right now, we're dealing with 2/13/2026. So the actual days are 4, month and days are 6, and the whole date's a 7. So what does that tell me? It tells me whenever I see 6, 7, people can feel confused and not sure. Like a little confused about what they're doing, what next step they're taking. And always that 4, when people want to be confrontive, like if you're dealing with someone, whether it's at work, in the family, don't join in. Not today. You don't have to. You can make a choice. Say, you know what? I'm not going to talk about that now. I'll wait till tomorrow. And if you have my calendar, definitely pick a day that's good for you before you have a conversation with someone. I saw this beautiful statement. It says, why commit? Now, here's how it goes. Why have a conversation with someone? Like, why have a conversation when you know they're committed to misunderstanding you? That is so powerful because it's true. If you really think about the ones, whether it's family, friends, business, that just no matter what you say, they seem to want to debate it, that means they are committed to misunderstanding you. My advice is don't do that. You don't have to. But yeah, so today, if you said, well, Glynis, what should I do? Oh, man, I would focus on writing, if you're a writer, getting the bills paid, and then spirituality. If there's a channel you like where you listen to words that inspire you, go for it. If you can go to prayer, if you can get outside and just look at nature, go for that. You'll feel so much better. Anything that you do where you just step back is a smart idea. And then if you have plans tonight for dinner, again, maybe that person next to you is rubbing you the wrong way. Find something good about them. Find something decent where you can at least say, the reason I'm here is because I feel blank about that person, instead of, oh my gosh, this person's annoying me so much, I need to leave. Oh, yeah. So the other thing about cycles, when you're in these personal months or personal years, they're messages and lessons. And they give you permission to see it differently. And for those of you who don't have, Glynis has your number. Loved by the Numbers. Those books were written to keep this simple and help you apply numerology to your life. That's the whole point, okay? So I wanted to talk about Katherine O'Hara. So most of you, start answering me. Do you know Katherine O'Hara, the funniest woman ever, who did Schitt's Creek and played the mother? Oh, I couldn't love her more. And all of a sudden we got this announcement that she had passed away, which was really shocking. And no one knew. Like, it turns out she didn't tell her friends that she was sick or going through something. They didn't know. Well, of course, when something like that happens, I run the numbers. But I want to tell you my favorite episode, and you can look it up on YouTube. It's when her daughter does the song A Little Bit Alexis, A Little Bit Alexis. Oh my gosh. So she's auditioning in front of her mom, and the woman is in charge of the talent, and she's horrific. And so the mom, our wonderful Katherine, kicks the woman under the table. And I just laughed and thought, come on. How many times have we all done that? Like, maybe someone's talking in front of you. You can't say a word. So you just kind of kick the person next to you like, I told you. That's exactly what it was. It's the most human, funny thing ever. So what's cute is I did send this to Vanessa, my sister, and I said, watch this. This is my favorite video. And I didn't tell her my favorite part. And then she wrote me back and she goes, oh my gosh, when she kicks her under the table, I just couldn't stop laughing. So yeah, if you want to laugh, watch that cute video with Katherine O'Hara. It is on YouTube. So going to her health. Well, it turns out she actually had like a genetic disorder and it had to do with the heart. And I'm not completely clear, but somehow the key components in our body that's on the left side were on the right side of her body. And I believe she did not discover this till later in life, but she said what it did was help her have a sense of humor. She's like, you got to lighten up. Here I am with this genetic disorder that other people could die from, and I'm still here. So she had a lot of gratitude about that and said, I just had to find ways to keep things funny. Okay. So looking at her chart, you can write this down. 189, that's her name numbers. Born on a 4-day, 8 life path, 7 attitude. So what does that tell us? Well, first of all, 189, those numbers, when they are on the positive, it's about changing your life for the better. And she had that ability. 1 was that ambition, and 8 is to make money. 9 is the one who touches the world. And, she didn't win those big awards. It was later in life, right? Schitt's Creek. And she was shocked. She's like, I cannot believe how much success I'm having later in life. She was in her 60s. And she's like, it's just remarkable because I always thought, your career has to end because you're getting older, and it just doesn't. So that was wonderful. And I see that from her name, but also born with the 4-8. These are business-minded numbers. So yeah, they work hard. They want to be successful, but they're also thinking about security. Now, ultimately, they said she had rectal cancer that people did not know about. Like she didn't even tell her friends. And it was a pulmonary embolism that exploded, basically. And that's what took her life. But I want to talk about something that I think is extremely important. In that year, like when it happened, right, she was in a personal year of 8. And I said, when you're in a personal year of 8, you do not ignore anything. If your health feels weird, if something feels wrong, go to the hospital, find out, get checked. Don't leave anything to chance. And I just wonder, I have no idea what was going on with her, but because of that cycle. And then with the 1 from January, she would be in a cycle of 9. And it's just not uncommon when I see 9 patterns, people wrapping up, right? Clearing that space, new beginnings. But I think this whole thing's tragic. And what I'm hoping is that her husband might open up a little more with us so we learn more about what happened. But the fact that she was rushed to that hospital and died the same day leads me to believe that maybe she thought while she was going through, she's like, look, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to go to the hospital. It'll become public. I'll just focus on healing. And she passed. So I want to say, if we think about life, what is life? Life is, we're supposed to be here to make a difference. How do we change the world? How do we touch this world and make it better? She absolutely did that. So I would say it was a life well lived. And of course, we're the ones who were blessed to be here when she was here, and her stuff will live on video, right? God bless that woman. May she rest in peace. All right. Now I'm going to start doing some live reads, some more reads. I'm grabbing my paper. I told you what kind of day it is, even what kind of month it is. Yeah. Okay. Let's scroll down. Make sure if you have a question, you got to put your name and full date of birth in order for me to answer it. All right. And since I described the cycle of 5 and cycle of 8, but I'll do those personal months for you too, if you want to do it quick. Hey, Glynis, which one am I in? I'll do that. Okay. I'm scrolling through. I've got to pull this up because I loved her so much. Carrie, she said, you could tell Katherine O'Hara was so good through and through. She truly was. She was just so funny. And she was unique, right? Her character, her voice. Aids care about appearance too. And if you notice, she did. Her clothes, her hair, her makeup. She definitely took pride in all of that. And you can bet, this is something I could tell you, she was outspoken. You cannot have a 4-8 as your birth date numbers and not be outspoken. It's not possible because you'll burst. You'll hold it in for a while and then finally you just have to say what you feel. So yeah, I love her too. I'll go ahead and pop here. So Diana, she's saying date of birth 11/11/1959. Well, first of all, I will always say 11/11 because that energy is so magical, like the universe is receptive to what it is you want. Since you're born 11/11, like every day it's your birthday when it is, look for the clock too. Look for that message. Since it's your energy, look for it and ask for what you want. Focus on it, Diana. Say, maybe it's a house. I really want to get a house, or I want to be able to pay my bills much easier, maybe get a better job. You just focus on all the good stuff that you want. Your health, something's wrong with that my health improves, that I start feeling really good. Focus on that because you've got that. You've already got it in your chart. Now, this gives you a 4 attitude. And then we add it, 4 + 1 is 5. So remember, that's a personal year of 5, right? So that's all year. And then what? Okay, this is extremely important. Because you're a 2 life path and you're in a personal year of 5, there can be conflict. Like you might feel frustrated or upset or just feel like things are not going the way you'd like. So what I want you to learn to do this year, Diana, is surrender. Because always in a cycle of 5, you get a payoff. Something good can happen. And take advantage of this month's energy, because when you add the number 2, it's 7. And that's spirituality. So the more you let go, let God, work on this. I know there are people who don't have faith, like they're just frustrated. But what I find is someone try to shove religion down their throat. Obviously, that's no good. But I would say this, Diana, when it comes to you, if you hear something spiritual that's powerful, you're very happy. It's like, tell me the message. Tell me what I don't know. So think of this month as a time for you to pull back and work on the inner voice, work on what's going on inside you. And if you do that, that's the way to play it, okay? Yeah. Yep. Release, surrender. Okay. I'm going to like this. Okay, I'm just going to pull this one up. It's Kelly, and Kelly saying, really? Wait, is this a coincidence? You guys check it out. And I didn't even see that birthday. They're both 11/11. Well, then you have to have listened, Kelly, to what I just said. The advice I gave her also applies to you. The difference is, remember, she was a 2 life path, and I said that's conflicting with that 5 energy. Well, in your case, you're a 5 life path. So the cycle, personal year of 5 is actually your cycle. Now, should I move? The answer is no, not right now. Here's what you could do. Start looking around, find a place that you're drawn to, one that appeals to you. That's what I would do. I wouldn't necessarily move. Now, if you choose to, at the end of the year, that last 3 months, you could move. But here's what happens. Cycle of 5, if you break up with someone, like maybe get divorced or you move, it's not as easy as you hope it to be. Like you can make a move, but really frustrating things happen. So an example, my dear friend Carla, she was in a cycle of 5 and she moved. Well, she had downsized. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hit and her 2 kids in their 20s had to move back home. So that was insane because she didn't have the space. It's that kind of thing. But if you start looking now, that's a good idea. And if you get towards the end of the year, yes, you can move. And the following year for you would be great if you choose to move. Okay? Good. Thank you for that. I love the name Kelly, by the way. I do. I'm scrolling down, guys. Submit your questions. I'm looking. Oh, this is big. Let's check this out. And my son will be scheduling a brain surgery next week to remove a slow-growing mass. He had a previous surgery, benign, in 2023. Well, okay. Listen, and I mean this, Anne, just like me going to my mom's to the hospital 20 times, you're going to have to get the PDF version of the numerology calendar. Unless you're closer by, then we'll just get you the hard copy. But the PDF is emailed to you. You need to look at my calendar and pick the best dates. I would never leave this to chance. No way. All right, so let me see. 7, 8. So that's a 6, 7, 9. So we're dealing with your son. He is a 5, but born on a 2 date, right? But so we got the 2, 5. And right now, he's in a personal year of 8. And I told you that's when we can't ignore what's going on. We need to pay attention, right? So that's important. But my goodness, It's slow growing. He's going to have to do some affirmations to heal that, like to get his mind to stop internalizing, because what we don't deal with mentally does attack us physically. And the fact that he had this once before, here we go again. But it doesn't have to be. I don't have my calendar, so I don't know the answer. Wait, my son's scheduling next week. You're going to shoot an email to numberstudy.com. That's my office. And you're going to say, I need to order the calendar immediately so you can look at the dates. And hopefully, if there is a date you already picked, it may be a good date. Of course, I want that for you, but don't you dare take a chance. Just like my mom. Let me tell you the progress with my mother. You know, my mom was in that hospital and very worried. I mean, come on, getting surgery. She's an older woman. She has 11 kids. Excuse me. Let's just say her firstborn is 70. Okay. I'm number 9 out of 11. He's the firstborn. So the fact that that's true, imagine, you know, if she wasn't in such great health, which she is, she could never have that surgery. And so the doctor went for it, and then he was concerned, you know, inside. He goes, look, what's when we cut her open? Well, no, she might have old bones. The ball may not stay, because this was the ball replacement for the hip. He went in there, and you know what he said? He says, Glynis, he was so happy. It took 45 minutes. He says, it went so well. He goes, and when I put the ball in, it went in no problem. And your mother's body inside is like someone in their 70s. And I was just elated. So here she was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and now they've released her, and she's already, you know, she's got the walker for now while she's healing, but she's walking beautifully and she's pain free. Now I attribute that to the numbers. Yes, I do. I attribute that to the date that was picked, because there was another surgeon who offered a date that was horrible. I mean, he literally said, oh, well, I've got 7 surgeries today, but I could do her at the end of the day. And I looked at it, I go, you're not touching my mom, but thank you. Like, I could, not only did I find him kind of offensive because he was treating her like, what, a commission? Like, he didn't really care. 7 surgeries, but I can throw her in at the end. But then I talked to this wonderful surgeon, and when we picked a date, it was perfect. So yeah, definitely do that. And then if you said, well, Glynis, do you think you'll be okay ultimately? Yeah, I do. Ultimately, yes. But we got to break a pattern here. So reach out to the office. Talk about healing by the numbers. We got affirmations for that too, because I know I can tell you love your kid and you just want everything to be fine. Thank you for the question. All right. All right. Where am I going? Well, I saw one. And that's so funny. It popped away. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. One sec. Okay. Again, remember my dyslexic brain says this is backwards. So it's 11/20, not 2011. I wonder why they even did that. Like, why are we not all the same when we write down a birthday? Who knows? All right. So here we are again. That pattern, guys, you notice a lot of people are in a 5 personal year right now. There's a lot of that happening. Right. So 5 personal year. And then I got 11/20. What else? Wow. Wow. Here's the other repeated pattern. This person is a 5, but born on that 2 day. Yes, it's a master number 11, but you still want to look at that single digit, 11/2. I have an emotional pain relative to sibling that's been going on for a long time. I'm not sure what that means. I'm struggling to find completion with this painful lesson. Huh. That was written in a way that it's not clear what you're saying, but I'm going to guess a bit here, because what I feel is happening with you is you get hurt. And that goes back to the 11/2. You know, you feel things deeply. And then you have that 4. You know, when we have a 4 attitude, we're about integrity and honesty. So if this relative is not nice to you, you know, this relative picks on you or misinterprets you, remember, sometimes they're just committed to doing that. Jealousy can be one of the reasons. So you'd have to ask yourself that. But what you cannot do, because you didn't give me the birth date of the other person, chances are they're toxic to you. You cannot take it personally. You got to remember the phrase, hurting people hurt people, because that's what's going on. This person's hurting you, but they're hurting too. So what's the bigger lesson? Disconnection. Focus on the people who love you, the people who want to spend time with you. That'll make all the difference. Okay? Thanks for your question. And you guys can certainly comment when I answer your question that you heard what I said, my response. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go to not comments, but banners. See if I can find. I'm really surprised I'm not finding. Give me one moment, guys. This is important too. This part's true. So again, this channel, I'm bringing it to life. I plan on doing some counseling with you guys at least a couple times a month, talking about some hot topics. So yes, I'd like you to subscribe to the channel, like the channel, get the notification bell so you know when I'm on, and spread the word, because I'm accurate. And I would always tell you that's a gift. It's a God-given gift, and I'm grateful. But that is why I'm doing this, to help you with your life and also give you a heads up about the energy that's happening out there. And, you know, again, when someone hurts you. Now, whenever you have a toxic relationship, be sure to put both full dates of birth so I can at least answer that question by looking at the energy. All right. That makes a difference. All right. We continue for a moment. Okay. Okay. This gal just said this real quick. Life path 5. Okay, so this is someone without life path 5, but you're in a personal year of 4, which means lessons to learn. You know, Deborah, this is a time to learn some lessons. You know, if there's something you don't know, pick up the book, educate yourself. That's what you want to do. Yeah, your mind, use your mind, be creative in that. Yeah, because that makes the big difference. And give me just a moment, guys. I am actually looking something up here. I will do that. I'm going to hit just numbers lady as I type. How many of you are left-handed? Oh, I'd love to know. How many of you are left-handed? I happen to be left-handed, but my mom's left-handed. I have like out of 10 friends, 7 are left-handed, which is crazy. But I'm curious today. If you're left-handed, let me know. Okay, I did it. Now I'm going to go like this. Let's see if that worked. Hold on. Looking for my left-handers. Woo! Numberslady.com. That's where you go. Of course, that's not what I meant to do. I wanted you to see my web address for sure, but I would have had Glynis McCants, and then below it would say numberslady.com. But remember what cycle I'm in. Personal year, personal month of 5. All right. So there's a left-hander. Look at my left-handers. Oh my gosh. So we got Victoria, Deborah, and Melinda in a row saying I'm left-handed. Oh, you guys, isn't that something? My hubby's left-handed. Okay, let's take a look at this gal. Thank you for telling me that. I get the biggest kick out of it's almost like left-handers find each other. Okay, so we got Brenda, 4/8/1959, born on an 8 date, 3/4/9. So a 9 life path. And then you're in a personal month of 4. So is this okay? So all I see here again, is this a better year 4? Are you saying this is a better year because I'm in a personal year 4? Is that what you mean? Either way, here's what happens when you're in a personal year 4. It's about improving your mind, whatever that looks like. You know, you pick up the book, you take a course, maybe there's a certificate you want to earn. What a perfect time to do it. But it also means no is a complete sentence. Very hard for you to put up with the nonsense. If someone's talking, Brenda, you're going to call them out, right? You're just going to say, boom, here's what I think. But I'm saying proceed with caution, especially if it's someone you love, because they might misinterpret, and then you have to explain yourself, which is exhausting. But I like the cycle. Just keep in mind right now, you are in, let's see, am I doing that right? Personal year 4, you're in a personal month How does that work? See, I'm going back and forth. You are in a personal year of 4, and that puts you in a month of 6. Okay. So you're in a month of 6 right now. Well, I like 6 for you, Brenda. It's strong, it's power. Use the power of this month to your advantage. Take a look at the house. What can you do to make it look better? Throw things away. There's another left-hander. Daughter's left-handed. Bunch of. Oh, by the way, here I'm from this family of 11. My mother's left-handed. 5 of us are left-handed. And I would say, isn't that because we had permission? Now, in my case, I am really left-handed. Like if I try to write with my right, I write like a serial killer. It's bad. So that can't happen. I love all the left-handed. Oh, mother and brother. That's a tricky word. Ambidextrous. Okay. All right. There's my little Keith. I got to say hi to this guy. I'll click him in. All right, this is Keith. This is an amazing site. Love to go there and look at my numbers just to remember what's going on some days. Yeah. Yep. I plan on adding some more information to that site. I'm going to add it. When you look at numbers, click down and just read what I write. But I'm going to start adding some new content in there just about numerology to give you some heads up. And then I'm going to do something really fun about when you don't know anyone's number. How do you still get some information? How do you still get that insight that you need as quickly as you meet someone? I'm going to create that on the website. So if you want to learn more, make sure you go to numbercity.com, but also sign up for the free newsletter because I will tell you whatever I'm up to. Okay? Absolutely. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah. Right. 4, 5, 6. Now I'm not even sure at this point. I'm seeing someone else who's got that same birth date where they're dealing with the master number 11. They're in a cycle of 5. That's okay. It gets better. You know, when you're in a personal year of 5, what you do is you adjust to it. Like it's moving quickly. If you're someone who likes to be in control, you're not in control. So I'm a swimmer. I love the ocean. And when there's riptide, you relax. You're like, I'm going to get through this. If you fight it, you can drown. Don't drown. So it's okay to feel that way for now. It's not for long. All right, let's try this. Having some difficulty on communication with my son's mother. My son's mother. Okay, relationship ended last year. Oh, that's hard. Okay, I'll take a look at his numbers. He says 5, 28, 1991, and then 5, 6, 1992. Now, what I'm doing, guys, I call this fast food readings, right? Because I'm just whipping through the birth numbers. Okay, 6, 2, 2, 3. Wow. Well. Okay. Let's see. I'll look at the cycle. You're in a 7 personal year, 3 personal year. Wow. Okay. So going back to difficult communication, personal year cycle, always take a look. Right now, I'm going to go with the name Oron. Oron, you are in a personal year of 7. And remember what I said, you got to get spiritual about your life. You have to pull back. Communication can be complicated. In the case of your estranged wife, right? Because the relationship ended in the summer of last year. She's not going to hear you, but she sure has a lot to say. So she's going to talk at you. Keep that in mind. She's going to talk at you, not to you. That can mess with communication. But I can't say this enough because I live it. I've been with my guy 23 years. It really takes 2 to have an argument or a fight. If you go quiet, it can shift the dynamic. Maybe she's talking at you and you just go quiet. Or maybe you trick her and say, okay, I didn't really think of that. I'm going to take into consideration what you said. Anything that you don't normally say, and she'll be like, oh my God. It'll take the wind out of her sails. Now, I got to tell you, whipping through these numbers, if you were ultimately an 8 and she's ultimately a 5, I'd be shocked if you told me that, the relationship was really easy. Everything was great. And then it fell apart. I have a feeling this was a difficult relationship. But you share the number 6, which is parent numbers. And that's why you had the kid. I wonder if you have more than one child. Do you only have the son? Let me know, Aaron. Just make a comment. I'll be curious. But yeah, if you said your heart might be broken, maybe you didn't want to attend, whatever the case, I'm telling you, when you start dating again or you need to meet someone, track me down, go to the website, order a chart, make sure it's just easier than what this has been, because this has been, you have a strong connection. So it's not about that, but it's difficult. It's like hitting your head before you learn. And I think it's been draining for you. That's not what you want. The other thing, since you're ultimately, let me confirm with that 8, you're in a cycle of 7. So again, if you pull back, that's going to be your power. Learn stuff, go within, self-help, some healing. Okay, that's going to make the difference. Thanks for your question. Wow. Okay. Let's take a look. I just clicked, will 2026 be successful financially for me? 6, 7, 3. Well, you're ultimately a 3. Okay. You're in a personal cycle of 7. So you know what you have to do? You're going to, like when I talk about affirmations for prosperity, they work. Okay. I've done this forever, but I also have classes, and the people send me the most beautiful stories about their success. So if you get your mind, and is it Aunt A, maybe just Ann, if you get your mind in alignment with this spirituality of prosperity, oh boy, doors can open. So if you're saying, can I be successful this year financially? My answer is yes. But you're going to have to really commit to that, like commit to affirming it daily. Again, it's on my website, numberseddy.com. We have audio affirmations there too. And what's wonderful about doing this, as long as I have, is I have so much proof about the accuracy. You guys write me to confirm it every day, and I'm grateful for that feedback. Okay, let me look at something. Let's see what this is. Will my back feel better? Okay, this is big. Will my back feel better? It's hard to walk or stand for more than 5 minutes. I've had some treatments. Okay, Felice, here's what you're going to do. First of all, 1013. Whenever someone has a physical ailment, something like that, I always look for the number 4. You're born on a 4 day. 1 + 3 is 4. Month and days of 5. And then your 6 life path. So what does that mean? Well, right now you're in a cycle of 6, which is good because I can help with the healing. But what I just said, I hope you have access to like a recumbent bike. I had bought one, and it wasn't overpriced, like $500, but it was a game changer. And you just sit on that bike. I walk, bend, and flex with ease. I walk, bend, and flex with ease. I walk, bend, and flex with ease. And then with the pain that's happening, the back, that's financial. It could be issues with money. You're worried about finances. So, you could do an easy affirmation. Let's see. Money flows to me wherever I go, and I'm so grateful. Money flows to me wherever I go, and I'm so grateful. Money flows to me wherever I go, and I'm so grateful. That also lightens up the lower back. All of it. I mean, I have people with back pain, they start affirming and they get rid of the pain. That's what I want for you. So I'm really glad you reached out, because what a perfect time, right? It's the beginning of a new year. You want to get rid of this. You do not want to have that level of pain. Well, when I tell you my back years ago went out severely, my knee went out severely. I had sciatic, tremendous sciatic pain. I must admit, I do sleep upside down to avoid it, but I have no pain and I'm beyond grateful. So thank you for asking. All right. All right. So guess what? I had told myself, Glynis, you're going to talk for like 33 minutes and get back to work, but here I still am. I'll do a couple more. I'm going to wrap at a number. That's how I roll. All right. Let me scroll up real quick. I'm going to say that the next workshop, because I did a beautiful What's in Store for the New Year workshop, which was so fabulous because one, the reads were interactive, but we also really did a deep dive into personal year cycles. That's up until I think the 18th on the website. So numberseddy.com. You can check it out. it could just help you. You get the whole audio, you get the numerology worksheet with it, and just get yourself ready for this year because you have tremendous possibilities to make things better. Why is that? Because the world number's 1, and 1 is the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That means we got 9 years to have a whole new world for ourselves. 9 years to make it different. And that's why on the world stage, you're seeing some big shifts. Even what just happened in Minneapolis, that ICE is leaving, that has everything to do with this cycle that we're in. So yeah, there's power in that, and you should use it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Right now, I'm going to wrap us. But like I said, I plan on doing more of these. Stick close, like Facebook. I always announce it. My Instagram, Twitter. I usually post videos on Twitter once they're ready. But yeah, if you want to know when I'm doing this, I should probably shoot for one next week or the following for sure. I'm going to do another one this month. So just keep that in mind for the questions you have, and reach out to numberslady.com if you want to look up like an audio, anything to help your health, what's going on with you financially. If you want to affirm it, that's why I created them. This is about having the life you really want. And numbers are my guide. All right. This is Numerologist Glynis McCants. I wonder, we're going to play this game of going back to the banner. Do you think I could actually get my name back? Here, let's try. Woo, look at that. I did it. Numerologist Glynis McCants. It's Numerologist Glynis McCants. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And oh my gosh, I should mention Valentine's Day. What about that? Valentine's Day, again, it's energy tomorrow, right? It's got the 5, always. 1 + 4 is 5. 5 is drama. Well, we know drama can happen on that day. If you're in love with someone and they let you down, that's dramatic. My bigger concern is that it adds up to 8. So the 5-8 energy coming together, I just say, take it easy. If you love somebody, roll with what happens. Don't take it personally. If you prepare a great meal and they're running late, don't take it personally. Look at ways to make it pretty. I'm thinking lights, white lights, maybe flowers, just to let your partner know you love them. Even if you never do it, surprise them this time around, because 5-8 loves that. And then 8 is direct. Let's make sure we think about what we say before we say it. If you play it that way, it could be a great day. So happy Valentine's Day tomorrow, and I'll talk to you soon.